soldiers. Checking her bonnet is straight, she becomes belatedly aware that the scarlet uniform she bumped into a minute ago is hovering, so she turns to see him off. "Oh, my manners," says Helen. "Miss Emily Faithfull, if I may. Colonel David Anderson, a friend of the family's from Malta." The colonel has dangling blonde whiskers. Fido lets his fingers enclose hers. "Delighted," she says distractedly. "The Miss Faithfull?" She winces at the phrase. By his accent, he's a Scot. "Printer and publisher to the Queen." The man's well informed. Fido concedes a nod. "Her Majesty's been gracious enough to lend her name to our enterprise at the Victoria Press." She turns back to Helen. So much to say, and little of it speakable. Words log-jam in her throat. "Are you and Captain Codrington home on leave, or—" "Forever and ever, amen," says Helen. That little twisted smile is so familiar to Fido that the years fall away like planks splintering under her feet. She feels dizzy. She fears she'll have to sink to her knees, right here in all the dusty clamour of London's city district. "Matter of fact, it's Vice Admiral Codrington now," remarks Colonel Anderson. Of course, forgive me," Fido tells Helen. "I can't help thinking of him by the name he bore in the days when I knew him, when I knew you. But she's not that girl any more. It's 1864. I'm almost 30 years old," she scolds herself. "Harry's been immured in paperwork for weeks, ever since our vile crossing from Malta," complains Helen. "So, I've press-ganged the Colonel into service as my parcel carrier today." "A keen volunteer, Mrs. C," he corrects her, swinging 2 small packages on their strings. "I'll just pop across the road to pick up your Wattses, shall I?" "Curtain tassels, a dozen of the magenta," she reminds him. "That's the ticket." Tactful of the officer to absent himself, Fido thinks. But once she and Helen are alone, the discomfort rises between them like a paper screen. "Such heat," is all she manages. "It takes me back," says Helen pleasurably, twirling her fringed green parasol and tipping her chin up to catch the merciless light. Watching that face, Fido finds it hard to believe that this woman must be, count the years, 36? "To Italy? Or do you mean India?" "Oh, both. My whole torrid youth. Was it generally hot in Malta?" Helen's laugh comes out startlingly deep, like a sob. "So, we're reduced to discussing the weather." Irritation boils in Fido's veins. "As it happens, I'm pressed for time today." "Oh, yes, I was almost forgetting what a very important person you've become. The Miss Faithfull, philanthropist, pioneer." Fido wants to take her by the lemon lace-edged shoulders and shake her like a doll. "I prefer to call myself a woman of business." "I can quite see why I was dropped the moment I left the country," Helen rattles on, "considering how pressed for time you've been, what with all your valiant efforts on behalf of our downtrodden sex." Her mouth, Fido finds, is hanging open. "Whatever can you mean, dropped?" A pretty shrug. "It needn't have been done with such brutal efficiency, need it?" Helen's dropped the mocking tone. "Friendships have their seasons, that's understood. But you might have let me down rather more gently, I suppose, after all we'd been through." Fido blinks dust out of her eyes. "It wasn't kind, that's all I'll say, or womanly. It wasn't like you, like what I knew of your heart, or thought I did." "Stop!" She holds up her white-gloved hand till it almost touches those rapid lips. Helen only speeds up. "You'd had your fill of me and Harry by the time we embarked for Malta, was that it? All at once, sick to death of us and our bickerings." Her eyes have